Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. The world today is more complicated, more dangerous than at any time during our lifetimes, and I wake up every day thankful that we have leaders like you and President Obama, thoughtful, strategic, guiding our way through it. And so thank you for all the work that you're doing and for enduring this process for as long as you have. Strikes me that we're dealing with a fundamentally new problem in a frustratingly familiar context. The new problem is ISIL. They are on the verge of becoming the world's first autonomous terrorist state. If they are successful, I have no doubt that they will turn their focus on the United States and our allies. But the familiar new problem is the Middle East. And if we've learned anything over the last 12 years of war, it's that the Middle East seems largely immune from U.S. efforts to bend it to our will. And so that's not an excuse to sit idly by. It's just a reason why we have to be very careful about crafting a strategy that's not just well-intentioned but realistic. And so I think that you and the President have got it largely right. I think I'm broadly supportive of the strategy that you've laid out, with one exception. And so I want to just bring us back to the question about arming and trading the Syrian rebels. When we talked about this in open session a year ago, we raised concerns about the potential for the Free Syrian Army to coordinate with al-Nusra, a wing of al-Qaeda, and there was confidence that that would not end up being the case, but we have a variety of reports that that indeed has been the practice, most recently in a joint effort between the Free Syrian Army and al-Nusra Front to take a border post between Syria and Israel. So let me ask you that question. You answered Senator Udall's question about the ways in which we can keep arms from flowing to Islamic extremist groups. But why are you confident, how can you give us confidence that we are not going to train a fighting force that is then going to enter a battle with a known affiliate of al-Qaeda? And how confident are we that ultimately when they get on the field of battle that they aren't going to look to ISIS, who is fighting the same enemy that they originally entered into battle against, Assad, in common cause?
Well, Senator, there's no fail-safe, obviously. As I said earlier in answer to an earlier question, our guys have gotten much, much better at the vetting, and now that we're doing the training to some degree and hopefully do it openly, we're going to be in a much better position to do command and control, to do much greater in-depth accountability, if you will. In the end, there probably will be some strange bedfellow moments in the course of this kind of battle. It'd be crazy if I sat here and just said to you, oh, it'll never happen, as nobody's, these are exigencies and circumstances that we don't always control. But by and large, we are beginning to get a much better handle with other players in the region on the funding streams, for instance, to al-Nusra. Different countries that have played the angles with certain groups are now coalescing together, and we see a shift. And I think that's going to be to our benefit to be able to exercise at least a greater amount of control. Fail-safe, I can't sit here and promise you that, but we're going to do the best we can. Now, let me just say to you, all of you here, a couple of things. One, the House just passed the Syria Train and Assist and Equip bill, and obviously we hope the House, having done that, that the Senate will follow suit in short order. I also want to just correct one thing I said earlier. I was talking about the JPOA, the agreement, and John's gone, but I just want to emphasize, I didn't mean to say we didn't have any inspection before. We didn't have daily inspection. We had some inspection through our process, but now we have the daily, and we didn't have a sufficient level to have guarantees at a place like Fordow that we had a comfort level. One other thing, can I just say, because you raised this, Senator Murphy?
It's fine. I have one.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sir.
No, go ahead. I'll answer it.
Well, here's I guess my only follow-up is this. If I understand that there are going to be strange bedfellows, but to the extent that the strange bedfellows are the Free Syrian Army fighting alongside al-Nusra, which is a wing and affiliate of al-Qaeda, I hope that is not a reality that we're prepared to accept. We have had all sorts of talk about ISIL, but it's important to remember that the only major terrorist organization that has plans and stated intentions to carry them out against the United States today is al-Qaeda. So I just want to make sure that we have a specific focus on that particular set of strange bedfellows.
I'm with you 100%, and we will, to the greatest degree possible, absolutely. But what I wanted to say to everybody here is, you mentioned something very important a moment ago, which was about ISIL being a terrorist state and so forth. This is one of the things that I ran into very strongly with all the meetings I had in the region. And I want to just share with you this, that one of the key parts of this strategy is to not ever give them the legitimacy that they're trying to seek as to being a state. They have no legitimacy. They're not an Islamic state. And they're not in the vein of any other state in the country, in that region, that tries to give meaning to the concept of Islamism as they celebrate it with their citizens in their countries. And this is important for us because, you know, Islam doesn't produce, no legitimacy in Islam produces the butchers who killed Stephen Sotloff or David Haynes or, you know, Jim Foley. That's not Islam. And Islam is not ISIL. And increasingly, all of the voices in the region are really starting to feel that they have a need to speak out and to reclaim Islam. And that's one of the most important things that could come out of this. And we're working on ways to do that. So ISIL is not a state, obviously. You know, it isn't remotely like a state. And what we need to do is make that more clear. So let me just share with you two important things. The Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia, the home of Mecca and Medina, which, by the way, are in the target scale of ISIS. These are Islam's most holy cities. They, days ago, said of these murderers, they are enemy number one of Islam. That comes from the Grand Mufti of Saudi Arabia. And today, Saudi Arabia's top clerical council, all 21 members, the only institution in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia that is authorized to issue fatwas invoking Muhammad, using the words of the Quran itself. Today they said that ISIL are killers, they are thugs, they should be singled out and punished as apostates under Sharia and made an example of. And they said they were not following the Prophet, but that these are their words, not mine, they are following the order of Satan. Now that's what you're beginning to hear from the region. And that's a key part of this strategy. And obviously, we don't have the legitimacy to do what people in the region can do to delegitimize, but we're certainly going to do everything in our power to help encourage that and make sure that people are aware of it.